Hey guys, and welcome to the Dota 2 how-to guide for playing Lina. This is a quick guide to give an overview on skills, suggest the skill and item build, and give some general gameplay tips. So Lina is a ranged int hero who mostly is played as a support but can be played as a mid lane. Reason why she's mostly played as support is she's got a very slow attack animation, so it's harder to last hit. Now she starts with 18 strength, 16 agi and 27 int and gains 1.5, 1.5 and 3.2 respectively, meaning that she's got a very large mana pool and large int gain, so she hits quite hard, but she's got very low health and is quite squishy. So her abilities, firstly is Dragon Slave. That's got an 800 cast range and will deal 100 to 280 damage with a starting radius of 275, traveling forwards in a distance of 1075 to a final radius of 200. This basically means that it can hit units up to 1275 units of distance away in a straight line, provided they're in the width of it. It does not provide vision, however, and it's got an 8.5 second cooldown and costs 90 to 140 mana. A second ability is Light Strike Array. This has a 600 cast range and has a 225 radius, with a stun duration of 1.6 and a cast delay of half a second. It'll also deal 90 to 280 damage. Now, this has a 7-second cooldown and costs 90 to 125. It will destroy trees in its area of effect, and one of the big problems with this is, as it's got a cast delay, it does mean that it's harder to hit the stun, so you have to actually time it properly, or follow up a guaranteed stun with this stun. Now, both of those abilities are blocked by BKB because they are entirely magic, which again means that Lina is quite countered by BKBs. Her third ability is a passive, Fiery Soul. This grants bonus attack speed of 40 to 85 and bonus move speed of 5 to 8% for a duration of 9 seconds with a maximum of 3 stacks. You gain a stack every time you cast a spell, so basically if you cast all 3 of your spells, you're gonna have 3 stacks of this up, which is really quite useful because it'll provide max rank 225 attack speed and 24% move speed, which is huge. Now, her ult is Laguna Blade. This is a single target massive damage nuke. It's blocked by both BKB and Lincoln, so as it is targeted and magic damage. It's got a 600 cast range, or 900 if you have Aghanims, and will deal 450 to 950 damage, or 600 to 1250 if you have Aghanims. It's got a 70 to 50 second cooldown and costs 280 to 680 mana. Now, this is a huge thing because it will massacre squishy supports if you've got Aghanims very easily with the 1250 damage.
Progress. We've dropped that
So, on to her item build. Starting out as you are a support by grabbing the courier or a set of wards if your other support grabs the courier, along with tangos, a couple of clarities because your spells are fairly mana intensive, a healing salve and some ironwood branches. Now, you're going to want to follow this up by upgrading the courier. Either you or your other support can do that, and buying wards. Whichever one didn't upgrade the courier should definitely restock the wards. And get boots of speed, and make sure you keep town portal scrolls on you because they are very, very useful, and you're probably going to be wanting to jump from lane to lane to actually help defend other lanes if they need it. So, core item wise, you need arcane boots basically, and you're going to be wanting to look to getting a magic wand and an urn of shadows for the extra mana regen, along with the fact that you've got a big nuke and you are a support, so it helps you a lot in that sense. It also gives a little bit of strength for survivability. Really good sort of, these are great items to get as a next progression is something like Mechanism and Yule's. Now, Yule's Scepter of Divinity is something that a lot of people overlook. It gives move speed, it gives a huge amount of mana regen, it gives some damage, and it gives a way to escape or survive a little bit extra. It also gives a way to dodge stuns and everything like that, which, people tend to sort of overlook it as an item, which I think is a huge, huge mistake that people make. Now, Mechanism, again, all round great. It's a big heal for everyone. It's +5 all attributes, so it gives you a little extra. It's +5 armor, so it's a big, big sort of benefit to your team. Now, beyond this, you get into more sort of situational items. So, things like Blink Dagger can be very good for, you know, getting in or out of places. Force Staff again can be very good for getting in or out of places. Veil of Discord has the bonus to magic damage, which means that your nuke will do so much if you've got Aghanims going with that. Ags is again something that is quite a nice thing to get on her because of the damage upgrade, but it's not really a core item, and only go for it if your team's actually getting fairly well farmed and you are kind of ahead. You can also get a Side of Vice, which again is a big disable. It's a lot of mana regen, a huge amount of int. It is quite expensive though. And something that a lot of people overlook is things like Vlads that give an aura of lifesteal to your team. Like, if your carry has a UAM built in, getting Vlads can actually be really good for him if he's a sort of hero that doesn't want to pick up Vlads himself. Now, ability build-wise, generally you want to take Dragon Slave at 2, 4, 5, and 7. This is because it's your main source of nuke damage early on, so it makes getting kills a lot easier. Take Light Strike Array at 1, 8, 9, and 10. The reason is that the damage doesn't go up as well as the damage from Dragon Slave, but it stays the same stun duration as well, so stun duration is always the same, so you only really want 1 point in it until you finish Dragon Slave. So that's why you take it at 1, 8, 9, and 10, because you've then finished Dragon Slave. Fiery Soul, generally good to take at sort of 3, 12, 13, and 14. Reason why I take 1 at 3 is because you get the 40 attack speed bonus per spell cast or whatever, which then goes up in small increments after that. So the first point is like the biggest jump, plus it gives the 5% move speed bonus and that. And you, of course, take Laguna Blade whenever you can, and stats sort of in between when you have to. That is generally a solid build, so general gameplay wise, you're going to want to head out to the rune spot if you've got the wards on you. If you don't, your other support's going to. And chuck a ward down there, wait for the rune, and if it's up, take it. If it's not, then, well, ping to let the other people know that it's the other side of the map if you don't have someone waiting there, and then head back to lane. Now, if it's a haste rune or something like that, on Lina it's quite good. On a sort of guaranteed stun hero with Lina, then it becomes very good. Now, in lane, you're going to want to potentially block the creep wave if your carry's not doing it and your support's, like, you're not the support at the rune spot. And then deny as much as possible, stack and pull the jungle camps to keep the lane back, and if you've got a guaranteed stun in your lane, and let's say you're playing with another support in your lane in a tri-lane with probably 2 guaranteed stuns or a guaranteed stun and a slow, then you can start going for kills very regularly. This is because you've got very large nuke damage for the early game, so if you can get a guaranteed stun off from someone and then drop your Light Strike Array on top of them, you're going to want to wait for maybe a second or something before casting Light Strike Array. Try and time it as close as possible to their stun running off so you don't massively overlap and sort of waste stun duration. Now, if you can pick up kills like that, that's all good. If not, then just sort of pull the jungle, as I was saying, level up like that, get items, and then ideally you want to start buying a few Smoke of Deceits and roaming with your support to gank other lanes. Like, if you can go gank mid, that's amazing because it gives your mid lane sort of freedom and levels and stuff like that for a little bit. If your mid lane's coming down to gank you, again, possibly head into river to meet them with a smoke if they don't have an invis rune or something. It can be a massive difference in ganking if you can actually get closer to them before you can get seen. Now, into the mid game, you are generally someone that wants to focus down one person, obviously because of Laguna Blade. Who you focus really depends on their team. Like, if they've got a very dangerous support like a Sand King or something, quite often going for the Laguna Blade on the Sand King is much better, because if you can stop him and kill him before he can actually channel his ult, that is a huge, huge thing in a team fight. Of course, if he's got his ult and his ability's gone off already, then it's considerably less useful to kill him because his ult stays going regardless and you can use it on someone more useful. Into the late game, same thing, exactly the same on Lina. You're going to be wanting to push as a team right now, forcing team fights. And basically, using Laguna Blade at this point, it's not going to do a huge amount to their carry, and their carry's probably got a Linken's for you. So you're going to be wanting to use it on their supports, or their mid laner, if their mid laner doesn't have Linken's, because their mid laner will generally be squishier, unless it's someone like a Death Prophet, in which case definitely go on their supports. and you're going to want to just nuke that person down and then use your Fiery Soul attack speed with the huge amount of attack damage that Lina has from her items and her passive stat gain to actually attack someone useful if that person has just died. Like if you've nuked their support and it died, then use the Fiery Soul to basically like beat their carry down or something, because you have huge attack speed at this point and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick little guide. If you have, please remember to leave a like, comment, favorite, all that kind of good stuff. And for more Dota 2 videos, guides, Hearthstone videos, all that kind of good stuff, subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.